This is Russ. Yeah, I'm back in the car again. Yeah, we're doing these car ride style videos during the winter because it allows me to talk while I'm going out to do things, and we have the background as an e-bike ride. So this kind of fits both ways, right? So what is the time? It's 9:13 a.m. in the morning. It is 23 degrees outside. Yeah, it actually feels colder today than when it was lower in temperature. I don't know why that is. Very overcast, gray looking sky. Oh well. Yeah, we had a little bit of flurries last night, and I think it's supposed to snow a little bit today, but not much. So anyway, I was thinking recently about upcoming events and also e-bike rides that might happen soon, meaning in a couple of months. That's as soon as it's going to get. But yeah, I was reminded by one of the manufacturers that I am currently working with that they have approved an e-bike to me for review once it becomes available. And again, we're talking the March time frame. I don't know when in March, hopefully late March. So yeah, there's 3 confirmed and I think 2 rumored, something like that, of what I can expect to be coming in this year so far. Now the whole thing is I really don't want to just be doing e-bike reviews. I do want to do some rides, which is really how this channel started out. It wasn't really an e-bike review channel, it just turned into that. So yeah, I enjoy the rides. Yeah, sometimes more so than the actual e-bike review. I mean, I enjoy the bikes. It's not like I don't, but I just like getting out there and riding around. So I was thinking about this year as far as where should we go riding this year, because we've been limited in our area, as many people have been, as to where you can ride and how fast you can ride and all that. So the one area that I had gone to quite a bit when I first started out was Bussey Woods, out in Elk Grove Village area. But reports came back that the what would you call those guys? Forest Preserve officers didn't want the e-bikes on the path there, even though their own website says it's okay to do it. Those guys didn't want you there, so I don't know. I'm debating about that. Now, the one thing I could do is take Mrs. Wright's car. I know she doesn't like that because she has to drive my car then. Take her car and then bring my bike there and then ride the commuter style bikes in there. I don't think they would notice the commuter style bikes quite as much. Yeah. And obviously the speed limits has to be enforced, which is typically around 15 miles per hour, I think, what most of these places are now putting down. But the signs still say on many of these places now, and they've added additional signs to places like forest preserves, no motorized vehicles. But even talking to my local police department in here, talking to 3 of the officers there, I says, how do you guys describe motorized vehicles? I wanted to know. Well, first thing they wanted to tell me, they said, well, that's not even our jurisdiction, which is true. That would be the forest preserve people's jurisdictions. Local police have nothing to say. But I says, but how would you define it? If it was you and you saw that, well, how would you define that? In their mind, they said they're thinking motorized vehicle being gas-powered vehicles. Yeah. I would really like it to say gas-powered motorized vehicles rather than just saying motorized vehicles, because that eliminates all e-bikes as well. If you go right down to the letter of, well, it's got a motor on it, right? So I think that's a fight that we have to deal with locally. But they're not going to change the signs. They already made the signs, so the signs are just going to stay the way they are. But I don't know. As we noted too, other non-electric bikes were going faster than me when I was on that one path on a recent video, right? I mean, well, that's not recent. It's an old video, but you know, we repurposed that footage. We repurposed the footage for this style of riding and talking in the car. Yeah, people noticed that, you know, the other guy was faster than you were, and they were weaving in and out of people. Yeah, well, you know, I released the video yesterday. By the time you see this video, it would be today, but yesterday's video, where you can see me going between some people in the forest preserve. And if you note too, there was even one point where I actually stopped because the people out walking had stopped. And then, you know, I do usually say on your left, or I ring the bell when there's that much traffic going on with people. So if you don't see me ringing the bell out there, you probably don't hear me saying on your left because I took the audio track off of it so we can do this narration, right? So I was thinking, you know, just watching that, thinking about, you know, where are we going to go? And then thinking about the speed issue and thinking about the people walking on the bike paths. Is it worth, well, okay, they call it walking and bike paths. I shouldn't just say bike paths. Should we even go into those areas? I mean, last year I barely went in there because I felt like, man, the regulations are coming down so hard. I don't want to go in there. And I says, definitely not with a fat tire bike. Yeah, because that would be too noticeable for people. And then you get, you know, people looking at you, and some people call you out too sometimes. So if you took a commuter style bike with like maybe a 2.25 inch tire width, and a lot of the new bikes now, the battery areas are color coded to the bike even, so you really have a hard time telling it's an e-bike. Personally, I like the fact that manufacturers are doing that, because then it hides it. Yeah, I mean, we go by them fast enough, unless they're really staring at the rear hub to see if you got a motor on there. I don't think people would notice it's got a motorized e-bike going down the path. Yeah, like for instance the Solar Sparrow from Ufree. You'd have a hard time telling. I mean, there's a cover that goes on top because the battery mounts from above. The cover is color coded to the bike, and if you look at it, you can't really tell. But when if you go by fast enough, it looks like a regular bike. It doesn't have wires all over the place either, because they do really good wire management with Ufree. So that would be the type of bike I would do. Now the problem though is getting that bike to Bussy Woods would be more of an issue, because I have a certain distance to ride to get there, and then Bussy Woods itself is quite large. I think it was like, what was it, like 12 miles totally around if you went the entire thing, something like that. I think it was something like that. It was pretty big. So the question is, can I make it there on one battery and make it back and also ride 12 miles? I don't think I can. I really don't think I can. Well, I guess you could if you rode in pedal assist level 1 and pedaled the entire way, but as you know, I don't have leg strength and knee strength to do that for that much distance. So it would require me to drive my car, put the bike on the rack, and then ride around Bussy Woods. But again, that infringes on Mrs. Wright's use of her vehicle, because I have to take her vehicle. My car does not have a hitch. Hyundai Elantra does not allow you to put a hitch. I talked with the hitch company that put in the hitch for Mrs. Wright's car, the Honda CR-V, and he says, yeah, they don't recommend it on your car. So they don't make anything specifically for it either. I mean, the company that I went to get my hitch, it's called Master Hitch. Yeah, they look for specific hitches made for that car, or made for the style of your car. And he said there isn't any. They don't recommend it. So if you look at the back of Mrs. Wright's car, it doesn't look like the hitches that you might see on some other vehicles. It has a bottom section, it sticks out a little bit too, below the vehicle a little bit. It looks really heavy duty. I think that's why it cost what it did. I think we paid around, with tax, around $350 range, something like that. You can get them cheaper. If you needed to put a hitch like on your pickup, or you put it on the back of your SUV or whatever, you can go to places like U-Haul. U-Haul does it cheaper. My sister brought her BMW there. She has a BMW SUV, and she went to a U-Haul, and they installed it. I think hers was under $200. So you could do it for less. Of course, for us, we had to go overboard. But I'd rather make sure it's a nice heavy duty one, because sometimes we carry too heavy e-bikes, not too lightweight ones. The Solar Sparrow, it's pretty lightweight in comparison to other e-bikes. So I have another bike that'll be coming in, one of the newer models, that's going to be really lightweight. Yeah, it's got a smaller motor and smaller wattage and everything, but sometimes the lightweight bikes don't need something that powerful of a motor to run it. So I'm very curious about it, because I believe this bike that's coming in is going to have some ability that if you don't even want to ride it with the motor, you can do it, because it's really light in weight. Really light in weight. So now I piqued your interest, right? Can't tell you anymore. That's all I can tell you. Stay tuned. You'll see some new stuff. And people had mentioned that it seems the manufacturers are catching wind about the issues we're having here in the U.S., and they're trying to make product that might fit us better. Yeah, so yeah, keep an eye open. All right, somebody took my spot, but another spot is available. Yep, I always grab the handicap spots if I can. I don't like people banging in my doors either. So handicap spots usually have openings next to the doors. If you notice, some people have asked, why do they have to have so much space? Because some of the vehicles have ramps, for handicap wheelchairs, and those ramps go to the door, and the doors are on the side. Figure a van, okay? If you got a van that's got a sliding door, well, it exits from the side, and then the ramp has to come out, and then the wheelchair has to wheel in. Now, I had noted a couple of times that I went to grocery stores, people would sneak in there and put their car in that X'd out area. I really felt like saying something to two of these guys that I saw do that, because I was parked next to them in the handicapped spaces, to just kind of steal your spot. Well, it's not a spot, it's an open area, but had I been one that needed that space, there's no way that guy could have ever gotten his car open to get the person out of there. Stay away from the handicap areas that are X'd out. Yeah, don't sneak your car in there. I know you guys probably don't, but there are people who do, and that just irritates me. I don't need it personally, but if I needed it, I wouldn't be able to use it. See what I'm saying? Yeah, so I've become, I would say, since my own issues with my knees and my hips and everything, I've become more attuned to what handicapped people need at this point. I didn't think too much about it when I was younger, when I didn't have the issue, but now I look at it and I go, really? Come on, guy. We need more reinforcements stopping them for things like that. But, cops are coming in and out of Costco and things like that, or grocery stores. Although, I will say, one time I parked in front of my photography school that I had, and I parked in the handicap space because I have a handicap thing, right? And I think the handicap placard fell down. You hang it off of your rear view mirror, but in mine, I actually use a little fishing line as a little thing so I can hook it onto there, because I don't have a really good open area to clip on my handicap placard. So I use a little fishing line to do it, and it must have fell off or something. And so the cop wrote me a ticket for parking it in my own handicap space in front of my own office building. I go, what? So I went to the police department and I showed them my handicap placard and I told them the story. I says, this thing had to have fallen down because I'm parking in front of my own spot in my own building. And so they took care of the ticket. Yeah, the lady says, don't worry, we'll take it off. But he did enforce it. So I am appreciative that they do watch for stuff like that. So yeah, be careful of handicapped spaces. That's my little 2 cents for handicap people, okay? All right, that's all I got for you guys for today. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate you guys letting me do these e-bike ride style videos in the car. We'll do more in the future. Talk to you guys next time.